Namo Amida Bu. The title of this video is Experiencing Buddha's Light in Nature. And it's appropriate I talk about the Buddha's light. Looks like it's getting ready to rain outside. But still, I don't live in the country. I live in the suburbs of Houston, Texas. And we've got quite a bit of greenery and beautiful plants, birds, hawks, woodpeckers. And that's one of the other reasons why I choose to be a vegetarian is my love of nature. And I've talked about the fact I'm a hippie. I've always been a hippie at heart. And the whole back to nature thing always appealed to me. Because whenever I'd have conflict with my family, I would always either get on my bike or walk. And I'd always noticed, even in the cracks of the sidewalk, the flowers, the little blades of grass, the little insects pollinating the tiny flowers on the grass, various grasses that would grow up in cracks in the sidewalk, little untended areas in yards where wildflowers would grow. Of course, back then we called them weeds. They're wildflowers. And one of the things I used to love doing is going down to a vacant lot. And after a rain, all the toads in the neighborhood would lay their eggs in this little slab where the house used to be on the vacant lot. It'd form a little pool, a little mini pond. And I'd watch, and me and the kids from the neighborhood would go down and watch as these tadpoles would emerge from the eggs, and you'd have little tiny toads eventually hopping all around the concrete. I think it's moments like this that kept me sane. And now one of the things that help keep me sane as an old man is looking out my window. When you see me looking out my window, it's not because I'm bored or anything, but I love looking at nature. I love looking at the palm trees in the courtyard of my apartment complex, just seeing the verdant green of the lawn is very calming psychologically. And nature has sustained me psychologically throughout my life. Growing up in a violent, dysfunctional family, in a home where there was lots of screaming and yelling and shit stirring, being able to escape and just go for a walk was healing to me. And this love of nature naturally led me to seek the Asian religions of the East, Hinduism, Buddhism, where all life is respected. Like I said before, growing up Christian, I was taught, man is over the earth and we are to, subdue it and have dominion over it. And in the East, it's like every butterfly's life matters. every blade of grass, every bug, the fish. And it broadens your perspective on the meaning of life. It enables you to expand your compassion, not just to humans, but to all life, and eventually to have respect for all life. And this is very important in terms of why I became a vegetarian. Because there's just something calming about knowing that I'm causing less violence to nature by abstaining from meat. I've watched a few factory farming videos on YouTube, and I've noticed the deplorable conditions that animals are kept in. And it's a form of torture. It's psychological torture. It's cruelty. It's unnecessary. It's not necessary to eat meat. But when I go for a walk and I'm in nature, I always have, in one form or another, prayer beads. In Jodo Shinshu, we call them ninju. Other Buddhists call them mala, prayer beads. And I'm either wearing them or I'm walking with, usually I have like an extra set when I'm out walking, and I just take them off and I say Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu, either out loud or in my mind. But almost constantly I have prayer beads. It's not required as a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, but there's a comfort there. It's a feeling of being connected to Buddha. And the other day, it wasn't cloudy. It didn't look like it was going to rain. There was a beautiful, perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. It's early spring, so you had the azaleas in bloom. You had all these trees and bushes starting to bloom. Bees were buzzing around, butterflies everywhere. And I walked down to this place I like to walk down to on Peck Road. It has a little creek and a little bridge. And I like walking past there, and it's like a drainage ditch, basically, but it's got areas with broken up concrete where the water flows down and actually creates a waterfall. And I love going past there. And they always, during the spring and summer months, they have red-eared turtles and soft-shell turtles, and sometimes even snapping turtles and snakes. You'll see them warming themselves on the concrete. And I'll just look at them. Stand on the bridge, and I'll just look out across the water, and I'll see egrets. And this is in the suburbs. You can find nature wherever you want, even in some of the most overdeveloped areas. In the most overdeveloped cities, you can find bits of nature, like I said, plants growing out of the cracks in the sidewalk. But there's just something mind healing about looking at animals and plants sometimes when I'm out for a walk, I'll look in the sky, or I'll look in the trees, or I'll look in the water, and I'll imagine Amitabha Buddha. Because I know for a fact that Amitabha Buddha's light shines everywhere. It is manifest in all places. There is no place that is not touched by the light of Amitabha Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light and life. And this is what I love the most about these walks and communing with nature, is that in doing so, I also inevitably commune with Amitabha. It brings a sense of gratitude to my heart. And I will say the Nimbutsu with gratitude in my heart. And just continue. And then usually when I get home, I'll play an Amitabha chant off of YouTube. I have quite a number of them saved. Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. And I'll just sit and listen. And sometimes I'll go over the writings of the posts of Reverend Josho Adrian that he shares on VK and OK. And right now I'm studying his book, The Amida Dharma. It's a very short, simple book, but it's very soothing. And so after going for a Dharma walk, and I like thinking of it as that, it's a Dharma walk. I experience Buddha. I experience the gratitude I feel toward nature. And this takes my mind off of the chaos here in the Saha realm. Not always, but mostly. It will take my mind and direct it toward a positive, beautiful part of life, nature. I've gotten to the point now where I almost never check out the news. I now hear it secondhand from friends what's going on in the world. It just makes me sick in the head and sick in the heart to focus on it. And more, I realize there's no need for me to focus on the chaos of life. And that's why I always look forward to spring and summer, because during that time, I'm able to escape not only the garbage in my mind, but the garbage going on around the world, and focus on what is beautiful in life. And experience the love and light of Amitabha Buddha in nature, and thus experience Amitabha Buddha's light in me as I show appreciation for nature, for beauty. I'm so glad I decided to take my vacation during spring this time. Circumstances allowed me to do so. I usually take it in July. I love summer. I love the hot summers of Houston. But I noticed the beauty of the flowers during this vacation. The butterflies coming out. The ladybugs. A respect for all life is one of the things that led me to become a Buddhist. And hopefully, by focusing my love on nature, I can learn to love and even forgive human beings for their shortcomings. including myself. Namo Amida Bu.